Takes away all my drama holding the mic. Don't scare you. I am the high priest Caiaphas. The Pharisees and the priests came to me with a problem they called Jesus. Jesus of Nazareth. This Nazarene is a troublemaker. He's a dangerous man. They call him King of the Jews. He does tricks. They worship him. Crown him King of the Jews, will they? He must be dealt with at once. He must be crushed before all of this rabble gets completely out of hand. Yes, this Jesus must die. We will find a way. Jesus will die. Honest. You said you would bring us someone who could help us with this matter.
Judas here has promised to give us some information. I promised him a small reward.
Yes, I will help, but not for the reward. I did not want to come here. I don't know why I did. I almost felt I had to come, but not for the reward. Why do you ask this information of me? I'm his disciple, his friend.
Make no excuses, Judas. We've noted your motives. We already have the papers we need to arrest him. You know his movements. We know the law. And we'll pay you in silver, Judas. We just need to know where the soldiers can find him.
I don't want your blood money. I don't want to do this. I didn't think this was going to go so far. I don't want the money.
Oh, get up, Judas. Take it. It's silver, Judas. It's just for a little information.
On Thursday night, you'll find him where you want him, far from the crowds, in the Garden of Gethsemane.
But
on them to come in.
Up.
I tell you the truth, one of you will betray me. One of you who have just eaten from the bowl with me will betray me. For the Son of Man must die, as the Scriptures declared long ago. But how terrible it will be for the one who betrays me. It would be far better for that man if he had never been born. My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine. Father, the hour has come. I have finished the work you gave me to do. Now I am coming to you, Holy Father. Keep my disciples safe by the power of your name, the name you gave me, so they may be one, just as you and I are one. I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but I do ask you to keep them safe from the evil one. Righteous Father, I've made you known to them, and I will continue to do so, in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and I also may be in them.
Tonight, you will meet the 12 who walked with Jesus, his chosen disciples. You will hear from each of them, discover what discipleship meant to some, learn how many of them were chosen, relive the tragic betrayal of one. Their testimony dates back centuries, but their example of serving Christ lives today, not just for church leaders and missionaries, but for you. The faith of Peter, the love of John, the belief of Thomas, all these must live in your heart. For discipleship is not something that was practiced only by a dozen men when Christ lived on our earth. It can be practiced by each of us now, today, on this same earth. Though we may lack the boldness of Peter, or the practical business mind of Matthew, or the zeal of Simon, each of us can serve in our own way. For each of us has a talent, an ability, a gift, which we can use in his service. Is your gift or talent only a little one? It doesn't matter. Remember Jesus' words in the parable of the talents? Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. The setting for the scene this evening is the upper room. There is an air of expectancy over this gathering. All the disciples can sense that something is about to happen. Suddenly, Jesus says, "One of you will betray me." This is the scene of each of the 12 reacts to his unbelievable remarks. No scene in the life of Christ has been painted more often than that of the Last Supper. But most would agree that no other attempt can compare with the painting of Leonardo da Vinci. For most of it is the ideal representation of a highly dramatic moment, the portrayal of the effect of a single word, betray, upon the 12 men most closely associated with Jesus during his life and ministry. The scene is the night of the Passover supper. In a small upper room in a house in Jerusalem, Jesus, surrounded by his disciples, is breaking the bread of the Passover, which will become their farewell meal. Christ is the center of all interest. He has just said, "One of you will betray me." Love, terror, grief, and amazement find expression in the cry of his disciples, "Lord, is it I?" The picture represented in our tableau tonight was painted on the walls of a monastery dining room in Milan, Italy. The appropriate setting of the picture adds much to its charm and meaning. Seated at their meal, the brothers of the monastery could look upon the table of the Christ as if he were their guest. It is said to be an exact replica of the table, linen, and dishes used by the monks themselves. Christ is the central figure. The disciples sit in 4 groups of 3. In their bewilderment, they have drawn away for the moment, so that Christ appears to sit alone. The Christ is not portrayed in our setting tonight, so that you alone can create your own image of him to be part of our presentation. Each of the disciples seems to be expressing his feelings in his own way. There is no repetition of an action on the part of any character, yet all actions harmonize in directing toward the Christ, the central figure, effecting unity as the motive of the scene. At the Master's right, your left, in broken silence, sits John the Beloved. Impulsive Peter leans forward, touching John's shoulder, and seems to be urging him to ask the Master who the traitor is. For the one viewing the scene, there can be no doubt as to who the betrayer is. In contrast to the gentle features of John is the dark, cunning face of Judas, who clutches the money bag and looks at Jesus in alarm, as if fearful that Jesus will reveal who the betrayer is. Behind Peter is Andrew and upraised hands, then James the Less, and at the end, Bartholomew, leaning forward in his eagerness to catch the words of the others. To the left of Jesus is Thomas with raised finger, seeming to be asking, "Lord, is it I?" In front of him, James the elder, expressing in face and gesture his horror at such a thought. Philip, bending over his companions with an expression of deep regret on his face, seems to say, "You see my heart, Lord. Is it I?" Next to Philip is the last group, Matthew, Thaddeus, and Simon. The original, recognized as Da Vinci's masterpiece, and is one of the 12 paintings called World Pictures.
I am John again.
I am Simon. Most of you know me as Simon the Zealot. Before I met Jesus, I was part of a political organization dedicated to the overthrow of Rome, and for that I will always be gracious.
I'm James, son of Alphaeus, called James the Minor.